Yo, that was Killer Bus, track off EP he released called Versatology, produced by 1914. That was a duo from down here in Florida, still very much doing their thing. Shout out to Tones. Yo, what can you say about that? Because I know you're familiar with all of them cats that I just mentioned right there.
Absolutely. Shout out Killer Bus, shout out Tone, shout out Greg. And that's family once again. Killer Bus was one of the early cats when I would go to Joker's old spot when Joker was pre Wedding Bells and pre all the whole tribe of Cubs that he has now. Like that was heading out to, I believe he had a spot just past the Hard Rock. I used to drive up there. This is when I was driving in Florida. Like I would drive up there and go to his like small little box of an apartment, and we'd record and Killer Bus. I'd meet Killer Bus out there, and we'd just be recording record after record, for hours, putting work in, just recording just to have music, to play back and not really necessarily having anything for it to go to or whatnot. So brothers like Killer Bus, brothers like Joker Wild and Trav kept me super sharp. Knowledge Medina kept me super sharp. And 1914, shout out. I spoke to Greg a couple weeks ago. That's my guy forever. I just did a record with Tones. He's out in Arizona now. I just did a record with him for his new group. He's putting out a project. I don't know how soon they're going to be putting out the project, but I just did a dope track for them. So looking forward to hearing that come out. And shout out to 1914. They did a track called Long While on the Gray Hairs album, and we put in plenty of work as well.
So was there ever a track with you and Killer Bus?
We did a couple of things, but I don't know. Life happens, so I don't know what Killer Bus is up to these days. And I mean, I feel like when I was still in Florida, there was a period where like he kind of fell off the scene a bit because he had life responsibilities and things to attend to, which you can only respect and appreciate in a man or woman, and he just kind of like wasn't on the scene like that so much anymore. So like we have some stuff that are some things that are recorded, but not too much that is out there.
And Knowledge Medina, who you mentioned, is somebody like when I was coming up curating this list, I was like, damn, I only have so many tracks I can play. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna save it for whenever I finally get Knowledge Medina on the show. But the one of the tracks that you guys collaborated on that I really like was Ava Rice.
Oh yes, that's on Revolutionary. Knowledge is a go-to for me. Like whenever I'm putting out a project, he's been on a lot of my albums, mixtapes, and that's a brother of mine. Always look forward to coming to see him, check in with him, even outside of the music. It's good to see my brother. And I love the things that I've seen him coming out and doing. He did the Spanish album. He got the group stuff that he's doing once again. And I think it's super dope to see his growth as a man, as a father, and as an artist, and just I appreciate all the music that we've put on together over the years. We've done so much work together, and that's not going to change. We're going to continue to do work together.
We met. I don't know if we met like 3 or 4 times and shit throughout the scene and shit.
No, I believe so. Like and just seeing your face on the IG, I believe so. And it's just we didn't bump into each other's circle enough, I would say.
Yeah, one of the joints I was gonna play is this joint that actually 1914 produced for me off my first project, and I remember rocking it at this spot that was deep in Broward, and I did my thing. I got off stage, bro, and like you came up to me and you was like, yo man, you fucking killed that shit. And that shit meant a lot to me, bro, because it's like, yo, you're somebody that has done big things, you know what I'm saying? And for you to have that humility, not a lot of cats in your position would do that. You know what I'm saying? Period. You know? And a lot of cats that come from up north, bro, they come down here with their noses held high, and it's like they're holier than thou, you know? And I always felt like you kept it massively real with everybody.
Yo, there was only genuine approach to anything that I've ever I've come out there and dealt with, and it's because dope is dope, and like what we do is as artists, like we all are out here, you know, reaching out for respect. And I never went to Florida thinking like just because I've accomplished certain things that are like, you know, I had a position over anybody. I felt like I had to earn mine just like everybody else. And I was thankful to be a part of a scene, to be welcomed in a scene that, like I said, you know, was already thriving and dope, you know, before I got there. So, you know, I was appreciative to be welcomed, you know, and when you're welcomed into a family, you respect that. And so I'll be genuine in saying, like, you know, I don't remember the moment personally, but I know, you know, if I saw you and you know, if you did your thing, I'm definitely gonna give props. I'm always gonna do that and never be sideways with anyone. So I'm loving the fact that we had this energy right now with each other, and I appreciate you.
Okay, and now before we get into the next track, I want to ask you this because you cleared it up earlier. You from the Mass, not exactly from Boston, but they're kind of one and the same in a sense. What is, you know, everybody I'm sure asks you, what's your top 4? What's your top 5 MCs of all time? But I'm gonna get a little bit more specific with it. What would you say is your Mount Rushmore of Boston Mass MCs?
2000 Primo.
Mount Rushmore of am I included in this, or am I just saying period?
If you want to put yourself, I can't blame you. You know what I mean?
Massachusetts, a Mount Rushmore, Massachusetts. Well, Edo G is automatically there. Edo G is definitely there. Terminology is definitely there. You know, there are some people who like are kind of still doing their thing, and like, you know, when it's all said and done, you know, things may be a bit different. I would put myself there. And then after that, I'll have to say, are we talking about everything included, like accomplishments and just like lyrics, like super dope, or is it just lyricists?
Nah, it could be your personal within the MC hip hop realm. You know, whatever your personal pick for 4. And of course, you know what I'm saying? You're very familiar with the scene up there, growing up in it and all that. So, you know, names are gonna get left out, I'm sure. But if you had to pick a 4th one, a final one, for whatever reason it is, which one would it be?
I have to say Sling.
What is it that I got left in my tank?
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say those 4 make sense.
Yo, shout out to my dude Old Head Ed. He's got a podcast called Bruce Beats and Eats. I know he wanted to get you on it. He did a special like IG live thing with some brother up in Boston who has his own podcast and IG, you know, type of show where it was Boston versus Miami. It was very dope what they did. They just played songs, you know what I'm saying, from underground MCs from each one. It was dope. It was a dope night. All right, let's keep it rolling into this next song. We are in October right now, and it's kind of seen as an unholy event in some religious people's eyes because Halloween and all that. But let's keep it moving. We got 2 tracks to go, ladies and gentlemen, so keep it locked. We got more quick insights into everything, and let's go.